Here's a review for Elio. I saw the movie this past weekend. On its second weekend, I didn't have time to see it on its first weekend, but I made time to check it out on its second Saturday. It's the latest film from Pixar, which will always be a brand I'm gonna make time to check out their latest film, even if sometimes they do put out a piece of shit. Also, the film is the rarest of rarest commodities in movies these days, and that's this film being an original idea, as in not a sequel, remake, or adaptation of any sort. Not that there's anything wrong about those kind of movies, but there is something nice and refreshing about seeing a brand new idea. This movie, though, had a lackluster opening weekend like Elemental did a couple years ago. $21 million was definitely a flop for this particular movie, to which even Disney called out its audiences, telling them to go f*** themselves for saying they want original movies, but not paying to go see them when a new film comes out. Based on this movie's quality, was this proclamation from Disney worth it? Well, there was only one way to find out. For the record, I was in a fairly filled auditorium, which is pretty impressive for a second weekend for a movie that bombed on opening weekend. Anyways, in this film, a young boy dreams of seeing extraterrestrials, and he eventually gets his wish in being taken to an alien world where he gets involved in a war-type conflict. It's obviously an original story, but there's a familiar feel to the general plot here, based on recent Pixar adventures. A young boy dreaming of another world, Little Mermaid style, and then going there is the same plot from Coco and Luca. That doesn't make it a bad story, though. It's got good development and all-around good life lessons about friendship, parenting, and realizing your dreams. Elio, the character, was okay. Personality and writing-wise, he was similar to Luca, albeit a lot more annoying at the beginning. It's one thing to dream about seeing aliens, but it's another to just be f***ing annoying and completely cause havoc for your adoptive aunt. But it's the family trauma we see him go through at the beginning that keeps you sympathizing with him through the movie. The best character was his adoptive aunt Olga. She was voiced by Zoe Saldana, which was weird because I remember them showcasing this movie at D23 in 2012, where it was America Chavez was going to be the voice, but I guess went sideways during production and Saldana stepped in. But her character was good. I would mostly say the same for the animation and general look of the film. For the character models, it's using what's called the Cal Arts type style, which was also used in Luca and Turning Red, and even the recent Pixar Disney Plus series Win or Go Home. Before knowing the official name for that style, I always called it the Wallace and Gromit style, based on the shape of the mouse and the f***ed up teeth.
Oh, you do look after me, lad.
Aesthetically, I don't think it's a bad style. It is kind of weird, though, and I think Pixar should be careful about overusing it. If given the choice, I would just prefer them using the regular style of Inside Out or Toy Story. The actual world of aliens was pleasant, and it had a coolish round aesthetic, something unique. I could say the same thing for the aliens themselves, the designs, even if they did lean into the kids factor of cuteness. The best thing done with this whole world of aliens was not cutting corners when it came to the issue of universal language communication, by not establishing that somehow miraculously everyone speaks English, which we constantly see done in alien films, whether kids-oriented or adults-oriented. But you'll get a good amount of the things needed for a quality kids adventure. There's some fun camaraderie with Elio and the slug-like alien he befriends, and the misadventures they get involved in afterwards. And the villain plot, if you want to call it that, while definitely not great, worked fine enough for what the story was going for. I was consistently liking the movie, never quite loving it though. Maybe it's that I just didn't find it that funny, but I guess it wasn't trying to be. I just appreciated it for the things it was doing well enough, and the result was a film I firmly liked, didn't love though.
I like it.
It was a pleasant movie that wasn't a terrible waste of time if you choose to check it out in theaters. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Elemental, which came out in the same time a couple years ago. It was in a similar situation where the movie basically bombed on opening weekend, but Elemental was able to have amazing staying power at the box office and made a nice recovery in the big picture. I don't think Elio will have that kind of recovery. I don't think it's as good a movie, nor do I see a path for it being as successful with the flood of movies continuing to come through July. We're talking about Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four. Following this movie's release, Pixar announced they're going to be doing an every other year type strategy. They're going to be alternating between doing an original movie and the year after doing a sequel, which I think is actually the perfect strategy for gauging what stories the audiences want to see. and not just playing it safe with too many safe sequels that'll be guaranteed money hits, or original stories that may not quite land with the audiences. So that'll do it for this review of Elio. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.